Thank you for staying with me. It's the TMI Tuesday, and I still have the presence of Francis Owaifo and, of course, Chima Williams. And just recently, during the break, we had the opportunity to also have the presence of a Labour devotee, Money Mike Modesty. Welcome to the program.
Phillips, good morning. Viewers, good morning to all of you at home.
Well, it shows you are very, very active and getting ready for the protest. And we see this protest as leading to what we can tell, because the reports here have it that the notice for strike nationwide can be given any time from now. So, but you had this protest October 30th. What's the essence of this protest again? Because some say that repeating it again could show that Labour is not serious.
Well, the one of October 30th was to force the federal government back to the negotiating table, which we succeeded in doing. And the tripartite committee made up of government, NECA, and Labour ended up signing the agreed 30,000 minimum wage. Thereafter, they proceeded to hand it over to Mr. President, who promised to expedite action in transmitting the bill to the National Assembly, which till today has not been done. The essence of today's protest is squarely on getting the federal government to transmit the bill to the National Assembly for further necessary action. Okay,
but we understand that there have been several series of meetings, and even yesterday there was a meeting. And
yes, meetings are ongoing, but not negotiations on minimum wage. Minimum wage has been signed, sealed. We are waiting for it to be delivered. You know, the president had mentioned during the presentation of budget to the National Assembly that he was preparing the technical committee to look into the issues so that borrowing will not be involved. To us, that is mere delay tactics. And we are expecting that no matter what discussions are ongoing right now, they are all geared towards transmitting the bill as expected by the Nigerian workers to the National Assembly. We do not expect our leadership to do anything otherwise.
Okay, but let's look at the very, very critical period we are in, election period, and being that it's as it is, which is very, very significant if we must move on. Don't you see that you bringing this is like throwing spanners in the wheel of progress?
No. If the politicians see the period to be very critical, then they ought to have done the needful.
It's like forcing the hand of the government.
No. Don't forget that the federal government told the whole world that by March 2018, a new minimum wage will be in existence in this country, as represented by the Federal Minister of Labour, Chris Ngigi. But when September was to come, they unilaterally adjourned the sitting of the tripartite committee indefinitely, which led to the protest of October that brought them back to the negotiating table. It has been delayed 37 now and then. Constitutionally, it's a matter that is supposed to be reviewed every 5 or 6 years. The last was in 2011. We are in 2019. Government didn't see the need to, on their own, decide to push a bill or call the parties to a round table to discuss or review. Labour late 2015 made a submission to the present government. Between the end of 2015 and now, how many years? And we are still dragging on 30,000 minimum wage. They cannot even pay for an apartment for a father, wife, 2, 3 children, and feed them in a month.
Okay, but are you not also taking into consideration the burden that may be on state governments? Because they categorically still said that they can pay beyond the 24,500.
That signed the tripartite agreement, they were represented by the representative of the Governors Forum. They signed that agreement. That's why I told you, the issue of 30,000 minimum wage is no longer negotiable. It is a matter that has been signed and sealed. We are only waiting for it to be delivered. And deliver it to the National Assembly. I can tell you, I can vouch to say the National Assembly will not waste time in passing that into law. And we expect Mr. President to assent to it. If there is need for National Economic Council, whatever they call them, convey them and let them do the needful. What the law is about saying is, this is the minimum, irreducible, that should be paid. It didn't say that the same state government cannot come back to negotiate with the organized labor in their states.
Okay, that gives. So. Okay, it also gives opportunity for them to still negotiate.
That's how it has always been. But the state governments, I can tell you authoritatively here, are busy doing the kind of kangaroo action to use this as a bait to get into the removal of fuel subsidy, so that more money can be flowing to them. Knowing fully whether the federal government is not ready to review the revenue formula.
Okay. I'll come back to you, Francis Owaifo. This back and forth protest plan to go on a nationwide strike and then calling it off again, and the federal government calling for a meeting, and then all of this back and forth. What do you make of this? Is it a way of progress?
Well, it's not really a way of progress for us as a nation, because I know there are laws that every 5 years, minimum wage should be reviewed by the federal government. I see no reason why the government does not stand by that law. Because this process of meetings, protests here and there, when the laws are followed to the letter, every system flows. It's supposed to be a systematic thing. It flows.
But it takes a process, and the government is going through the process.
So what I'm saying is that, what process is it? There's a mechanism in place. That is why the law is there. Mechanism in place. Before the 5 years' time, every process should put itself in place, and automatically it triggers. The workers will be happy. You say the output of the workers. You'll be happy to work, come to work, because when you look at the economy today, what is even 30,000 that we are talking about? Yesterday, I was privileged to have some countries in Africa and some other world countries, the minimum wage. Ours was the least. South Africa is 94,000 naira compared to Nigerian naira.
No, it's not 100.
It's not okay. They just reviewed January 1st. Yes, January 1st. With January 1st, it was the president that made a speech. He did it. The laborers didn't even agitate for it.
But don't look down on the economic status, because that's quite important. In respect of the fact that you can make some comparisons, but also look at the financial strength and economic strength.
Nigeria is a model. When you go to other nations, I've also visited other countries. I was in Gambia 3 months ago. When you go to other nations, when you come to their nations, they laud you. Hey, Nigerian, they hug you. They want to give you accommodation. They want to feed you, because you are one of the biggest countries in Africa. Why can't we behave the way we are? We are so blessed. If you look at I was looking at FRIs that today in National Daily, that they've tripled for the past 10 years what they've gotten last year, 2018 in Federation, Internal Revenue in Nigeria. Trillions of naira. We are making more money, but it's not adding value to the lives of the average worker. Right, because it says something. To rent an apartment in Nigeria, how much is it?
Thank you.
You can afford it.
Let's look at the side of the government. Do you see nonchalance in this respect?
Well, you see, Philip, government is supposed to be responsive and responsible. The government shouldn't be reactive, okay? A serious government is not supposed to be reactive. You only begin negotiation when there is an action. What stops this government from having invited organized labor when they knew that the term limit provided by law, has elapsed? Invite them and make explanations. If you do not have the resources, discuss it and show them why you do not have the resources to pay 30,000 naira minimum wage, whereas some politicians who are producing nothing, absolutely nothing, who go to for some at the National Assembly, go there to sleep, receive the wages that a worker receiving 30,000 naira minimum wage cannot receive in 20 years of service.
Okay, well, you may mention the fact that some politicians, but we still see that as allegations.
It is not allegation, my brother. What is allegation? When the FAC has provided, and you know the amount that some of them take home. Not allegation. We are not talking about, other entitled. We are talking of the basics. That is known.
Okay, but let's look at the posture of the president.
Yes.
That's exactly where I'm with you. Do you see the posture of Mr. President as ready to concur with this agreement and ensure that it's transmitted to the National Assembly?
Well, for me, the Mr. President that I used to know.
You don't know him again?
No. Because, see, you can be my friend. You can do something that I do not expect from you. Okay? And I will be bold to say it, irrespective of the fact that you're my friend. I will tell you that this one I didn't expect it from you. Okay. So if you're my friend that I used to know, you shouldn't do this. Okay? Mr. President that I used to know would have transmitted this thing immediately, not waiting for anything, because at the end of the day, look, it is something that must be done.
But does this not also signal, if the Mr. President I used to know is now taking a departure from what ideas that you believe that he would have tailored towards, wouldn't you think that this signals a challenge that maybe the Mr. President that you used to know is having and needs time to go through the process.
Now, you see, there is enough time, you know, to recalibrate.
Yes.
Okay? To still correct that and put those of us, you know, that believed in him, okay, right. By transmitting this, it shouldn't pass this week. It shouldn't wait for this, you know, because see, we have an economy that the government is saying is bad, okay? And then you are, by your own actions, worsening your crisis points.
Okay, but
because when, as Labour is demonstrating today, mind you, at the end of the day, go and check what the economy would have lost today.
We are looking at that in as much as Labour says that it's not a strike action.
Yes.
Now, but it's a protest.
Yeah.
And so which means what happens to the workers? Does it mean that the workers are going to join in this protest?
The protest is organized by organized labor. So every worker is
excluded.
Is bound to join.
He's bound to join.
But so what we have done so far is to call out labor leaders.
So how does that affect the economy?
You should know. You understand. 1 hour that will be lost today. You know, productivity will be so reduced today, and many other things will be affected. Let me tell you one thing. This economy is handled by the worker. Do you know that? Yes. The population of the politicians in this country is not more than 1.5 or 2 who are occupying offices. Those who create the wealth that is distributed in Abuja are these same workers. Those who make things work, who turn the engine of government, are these same workers. The engine of the economy that is turned day in, day out are done by these same workers. Let us come to the issue of 30,000. Let me do further analysis for you. 30,000 minimum is what we are saying. Go around the entire country. Take the statistics of the number of workers who are in grade level 1. I'm talking of the public sector. I'm not sure they will be up to 50,000. Because many states of the Federation for more than a decade have not employed. So there is virtually no level 1 officers in virtually all ministries, so to speak. The usual practice is when the minimum is fixed, which is the exclusive right of the federal government, it is not on the recurrent, it's not on the concurrent legislative list, it's on the exclusive legislative list. One would have expected Mr. President to have gotten the political will to say the Constitution has bequeathed this to me, let me do the needful. Governors who are complaining, yes, minimum is 30. Go back home and negotiate with your organized labor in your states. Because they are the ones who have access to what the income of a particular government is. They have all these records. So if you are saying you do not have the resources to pay, they will also know. Okay, what is the variation or the differential between 18% and 80,000 and 30,000? Yeah. Take the percentage differential in terms of relativity. This is what is supposed to go across everybody. If it goes across everybody, this is going to be the new wage bill. Even the pensioners will be affected because their pensions will be harmonized. Those in the old pension order, their pensions will be harmonized. As we speak, there are still some pensioners in this country, earning 2,800, 2,500 pensioners. As soon as wages are reviewed, harmonization takes place in the pension side of it. So what we are saying is, go back home, instead of listening to the governors who want to thwart the effort that has been made and documents signed by them, then go back home. The rules are very clear. The workers know how much you are earning. The percentage difference is this. If we pay it across board, this is the new wage bill. And the workers are still able to compute this. This is the income that is available. Are we going to put the entire money into this? Let us now discuss at our state level. We can agree to start from grade level 7 to social grade level, give them 100% increase. From grade level to social place, give them 70%. Then the upper echelon, give them 60%. These agreements can still be reached. Okay. But by so doing, you have not flouted the irreducible minimum of 30,000. But like I told you, which many people are still not seeing, these guys are looking for more money. With the exception of few who have said they were ready to pay 30,000. Some have even agreed that they will pay more than 30,000 minimum. And why are you now using others to spoil the chances of those who are winning? Okay, let's look at it. 10,000 minimum wage. A state can decide to say the minimum is 50,000 I'm paying.
Money Mike, let's look at the possibility of having a Parliament Act on this. Because this election period, and most of the legislators are also involved in the election process. And it's one thing to transmit to the National Assembly. It's another for the National Assembly to converge and, make it a Parliament Act. Don't you think this short possible time will not give you enough room for that?
Let me interject you.
Yes.
I want to say it in good authority that the present National Assembly has been very much eager to have a bill transmitted on review of minimum wage to the National Assembly by the executive. It's just removing 18,000.
So they take it as a very high priority.
Yes! They are willing. They are recovering very soon. Transmit this thing, I can tell you, it will take more than 1 week. This matter will be over. Because it's not a bill that's going to take them a whole long time. When you have 18,000, delete, replace 30,000. There are no new clauses coming in. The minimum number of employees that an organization will have is still there.
Everything still remains the same.
They are there. You want to just say a bill to amend the Minimum Wage Act of 2011. You get what I'm saying? Delete 18,000. Replace 30,000.
It's one thing to delete. It's another to replace. But the outcome it may have on the burden that the government has.
I'm not a shoe shiner.
Okay.
I say it the way it is. I am repeating in good authority that the National Assembly is eager to have Mr. President transmit this bill. And I am telling you, they will be waiting for Mr. President within the shortest possible time to assent. But as we have seen so far, Mr. President, with all due respect, has not shown any political will on the side of the Nigerian worker to do the needful. Okay. Despite the fact that it is the exclusive right of the federal government of Nigeria. Be that as it may, what we are seeing today is hide and seek games being played here and there. We are not playing, we don't derive pleasure going on strike. Because even the strike also affects us. We don't derive pleasure making the common man in the society to suffer more because they are already totally impoverished. We don't derive pleasure in bringing the economy to comatose. We are not interested in that. It is when we are pushed extremely to the wall that we use that as our last instrument.
And the last instrument can devour a nation's economy.
Yes, yes.
Now, you have today as protest. Are you envisaging that it will culminate to tomorrow?
Well, today is protest all over the country, and civil society organizations, allies, all of them are cooperating and collaborating with labor to ensure that the protest is successful. But I can tell you, strike can happen any moment from now.
No.
And once the whistle is blown, be rest assured that the workers are already highly agitated. They are terribly annoyed. Okay. And they are waiting for that whistle.
Let's establish it. I know of today as 8.
Yes.
Tomorrow I also know it's 9.
It's 9, yeah.
But are you saying that you can't tell if tomorrow is going to take a different twist?
As we speak here, we cannot tell you. Because the way it will come like a tsunami. A tsunami. And once the whistle goes off, I can tell you, everything goes to standstill. But I'm not a prophet of doom. We are not calling for tension, unnecessary tension in this country. But the federal government of Nigeria is deliberately being troublesome and beating the drums of industrial war. And we shall help them to play the jitter.
Some economic experts have said that, well, this increase could bring some respite to the economy, while others said otherwise.
I can tell you, more money into the hands of the working people brings more money into the marketplace for the market woman. Traders' money, 5,000, 10,000. When you give a trader 5,000 today, and he or she issues the following day, and nobody is coming to buy, because as it is now, the purchasing power has drastically declined, that even the market men and market women sell most of their wares on credit, and the monies don't come back. The volume of sales have since declined. We are told the economy is out of the woods. We are being told that Nigeria is out of recession. But the reality on ground shows that Nigeria is even more now net deep in recession than we are told. We are told Nigeria is not the capital city of poverty and penury in the whole world. And yet people tell us things are working. Where are the things working? A woman takes 20,000 naira to the market, she comes with a cellophane bag, and you are wondering as a husband to say, what has happened? Has she fallen into the hands of 419ers?
Okay, to have this, as we wrap up, to have this, some say that where the labor unions, we have different factions. Some say that they are not so united, and that could also hinder the progress of labor. What do you have to say in that respect?
Our slogan is solidarity forever. The solidarity is paramountly and absolutely there.
Irrespective of the factions.
There is no faction anywhere. We are members of the same family. We are drawing the same rope. We are singing the same song. We are singing the same song. But let me tell you, I must give kudos to the private sector through NECA, who have accepted that minimum wage of 10,000 is doable. For the private sector, we really don't have any issue. It is the public sector, represented by the federal and the state governments, that are causing the trouble. So we do expect them to urgently do the needful. Do you even know that political officers' emoluments are not fixed by National Income Wages Commission, but the Revenue Mobilization Allocation Commission? They fix them, and nobody debates it. Once they are fixed, they are giving the big calamus go to take home. But when the prayer comes from the ordinary man, who is the Nigerian worker, who is creating the wealth, they will say, may God bless all of us. And we are happy we have the National Assembly that is ready to do the needful on behalf of the Nigerian worker, and waiting eagerly for Mr. President to take the bold step, have the political will to transmit this bill as quickly as possible. And I assure you and the workers of Nigeria that it will not take a long time before the president is also called to us.
Thank you, Mike. Well, Francis Nwifo, we're running off. What do you see about the way forward, looking at what we've just heard about the labor liberty as it pertains to this protest?
The ball is in the court of Mr. President. He should try as much as possible, even if it's difficult. To him, we might not be seeing what he's saying. Yes. Because that's another way.
He only lies the head that wears the crown.
He's the father of all. He might be saying a different thing entirely, but the needful, he should do the needful, so that, because even IMEC is already in a dilemma, because ASU problem, they will not have lecturers to work with for the election. This election period, very dicey time. So when labor joins...
No, I don't think there's a dilemma in that direction.
No, I mean, that is
even the lecturers has already said that they are working irrespective.
Has not been called off. I don't want that to join that. That's what I'm saying.
And even as part of that, even reports have it that ASU, the federal government has reached agreement with ASU. So it's now left for ASU to put on their thinking cap and make a decision on when to call off the strike.
The National Assembly is ready. Okay. The president should also be ready to transmit.
But I get your drift, because even after that, even if they call it off, when the labor strikes, then automatically
labor ASU is under labor too. Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. If ASU goes, if labor goes, ASU goes automatically, and it comes back to square one. So it's a dicey time, election time. The world is watching. We must get it right as a nation, because people want to see what Nigeria is doing, how we are going to do our elections and get it done properly. So I believe Mr. President should do the needful this week. Today's Tuesday, before Friday, should do it, and then allow everybody to smile and calm down.
And I think, Chima, for you, I know the president you used to know will not fail you this time, because looking at the challenges, like what Francis Nwifo said, we can't tell the challenges that are before him, because they say on easy lies the head that wears the crown. So how do we nip this and close the gap?
My brother, the challenge is not a personal challenge, okay? Because the challenge that Mr. President will be facing if he transmits this, the problem of Nigeria, okay? So
the burden will be carried by us all.
It's all of us that is carrying the burden, because if minimum wage is increased to 30,000, productivity is expected to increase too, because the workers are the ones that generate this revenue. They know what to do, because they are the ones, even when the calculation will be done, you see the workers that will do it. When the payment will be done, it is not Mr. President who will be cashing out money to people. No. Okay, so I expect that Mr. President should not listen to those devilish advisors, because I know.
Well, we don't have devilish advisors.
No.
We don't have devilish advisors.
Yes. It is my opinion.
Let's be good in choice of words.
It is my opinion.
I agree with you.
Not the opinion of the station.
It has become our
opinion.
Let
me clear it, okay? Because What is devilish?
Even
if you know what is right,
even if you say that, even if you say that it's your opinion, that doesn't give you a free chance to air what you want to say.
No. I have the right.
In as much as
if I can substantiate what I am saying,
tantamount to bad practice.
I have not called anybody's name. So whoever ascribes it to himself or herself takes it.
All right, back to the subject.
Okay, so the issue is that, you know, Mr. President, please do well. Save all of us the tension. Okay? Transmit this. Let the National Assembly do their own bit. Okay? And of course, a time can be placed when it starts, the payment starts. It is not to act retroactively. So there is nothing to be afraid of.
So it's not going to be retrospective?
No. It's not going to act retroactively. So you are not saying that, you know, if I present it and I assent to it, it now goes back to January or whatever. No.
It's great.
So the point here is this. Anything that will create tension.
Yes.
Because now, if you are asking Labour, why is it now? When is the most appropriate time for it?
Thank you.
Politicians are coming asking for our votes, making promises heaven and earth, and then you cannot do the small thing.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Chima. Thank you, Chima. Your final words on this, Money Mike Modesty. Good to know when he was speaking about it's not going to be retrospective, and I saw the nod coming from you. I think that's a good gesture.
Well, we have not.
At least you're not taking it back. Starting from October last year.
We will not be ungrateful to any government
if he takes it back,
that decides to say we ought to have given them these things since many years back, that we are giving them 1 year arrears. We will not be ungrateful.
But that's not the situation on the ground.
It can happen. It can happen. Once it is assented to, it's supposed to take effect from that day of assent.
Okay.
But a generous government can decide to say, okay, we're supposed to have done this 5 years back, but let's give them our own workers. Let's give them a year arrears. We will not be against it.
Okay, thank you.
Finally, let me use the opportunity to express to Nigerians that we are grateful, absolutely grateful, to those governors who have genuinely shown interest to pay the minimum wage of 30, those who have indicated interest to even pay above that, and those who are waiting anxiously for the problem to be resolved.
Thank you.
We are grateful. But for Nigerians who have been totally pauperized, who have been totally dejected, who have now started having mental ill health as major challenge all over the country, we are saying, take it easy.
The headache will be cured.
All this things will be done.
Thank you. Well,
let me quickly mention to you.
Yes,
the retired head of service in Lagos, during her retirement speech, mentioned in Lagos that only in Lagos, over 100,000 working persons now have mental illness. Only in Lagos. Over 100,000 working persons are now faced with mental illness problems.
But is that as a result of the minimum wage headache? All right, thank you. I'll pause you there. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Francis. Thank you, Williams, for coming. Well, the only way we see now as a curative factor to this headache of minimum wage is for the president to really transmit these recommendations made by the Tripartite Committee to the National Assembly. And I think with that, the headache will be cured. Well, in the words of Money Mike Modesty, we just hope that whatever element that is presently been going on in the country, all of this element will be eradicated as soon as that comes to fusion. This is where we call it a wrap on the discussion segment. Next is insurance. Do stay tuned.